All right. Well, hello and good evening, everyone. This is John, and welcome again to the Rook and Rasps channel. Tonight, we are going back into Ninja Crusade Second Edition for the actual play Growing Shadows. This is our second episode for our third season, and I guess we'll go ahead and before we jump in, I'll go ahead and let everybody introduce themselves. We're going to go around the table and talk about who my players are tonight. So, Steven, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Steven. I play Chet.
And Justine,
I'm Justine. I play Ronto and Camus.
and we're going to go down to Tuan,
Hi, I'm Tuan. I play Guy, the resident bookworm.
and down to Rue.
And I am Roxanne, and I play Kyo Fujishita.
All right. So, if you, depending on where you are, if you've ever followed this show, and if not, hey, welcome. Welcome to the first time viewing us. This show took place, started with this team as children. And we've now recently done a fast forward 4 years to where they are all essentially young adults. The Ninja Crusade has continued sparingly. Uh, there's now a new continent in the southern section of the Empire where dissidents and the ninja now have made their home. And the Empire in the northern sections have kind of cordoned their area off. And as far as people know, life there for anyone who's found to be using Key is not the greatest. But new nation means new problems. And diplomats from the nearby nation of the Land of Five Blades have recently arrived in the city of Kitsucho, which is overseen by the mayor, who is the father of one of our characters at the table here tonight. Uh, so, when last we left our intrepid group of heroes, they had departed some tunnels after finding out that a master, sword master, one of the great masters of the Land of Five Blades, had not been training his student, who was supposed to be his successor. And that this training was being provided by Li Xiaoping, the ambassador from this nation. Uh, with that, there is now a plan to challenge this individual to a duel, but at least make it look good. So, that said, we're going to take a moment, and for the cinematic sake of the story, we can say that imagine, if you will, this overhead camera yet again. A zooming in shot onto this city that is, think of it as more of a boom town. There is new buildings being constructed, camps, tents, people coming to the city by swarms. A recently constructed mansion and palace area for the governor of this city. And in the midst of all this, the camera is panning down now to that location. You hear the sounds of the crowd moving through the city. It is chaotic, but at the same time, it is bustling in a good way. Activity and a certain amount of happiness, as if really beyond the walls and beyond this area, you would almost think that there was no conflict going on in the world. And the camera will go over this mansion now, and beyond it, you actually see a series of dark mountains and a series of mines dotting that landscape. But the camera is now panning down, and we see our group of heroes walking through a forested area on the backside, a private, kind of area, a little park for the governor and their guests, a little promenade, if you will. And the four of you are walking with the governor. So, Chet, you're with your father, and he is discussing this. You're essentially the plan, and he asks, "So, how exactly are you going to do this? What, in order to make this look good, in order to save face for the Swordmaster, what are you going to do?
Well, I suppose we will. Uh, Hold on. I have names written down. We will take Feng, and under the auspices of uh, helping him feel welcome into the city, incorporate him somewhat into our group while we go about town, and then if we can trust him, explain to him the situation so that we can go somewhere, we can show him the proper way to stand, to hold a sword, teach him how to fight at least a basic level, and then when the time comes for our fight, I will attempt to meet him at a lower level.
That might work, but with the people watching everything, won't others catch on that that it's somewhat rigged?
Well, that's where I was hoping you and the rest of the people in the house could come in. Maybe you guys could run interference while we do this.
Well, more than likely, when I have my meeting very soon with the ambassador, I can keep him and the Swordmaster busy, at least, and that would give you an opportunity to speak with Feng. But I'm just very curious, after that point, if they would be willing to allow you to teach him. Seeing as at that point, you will have about a week, and the duel will be official. I mean, it would be very odd for you to be training with the person who is going to be fighting you.
I,
There's no way to really hide that too much here. Between the amount of people residing here on the grounds, the soldiers, the ambassador, and his people, you're looking at quite a feat.
I'd say in our journeys, we've accomplished harder tasks.
Well, then I will leave that up to you. And he looks over at the rest of the group and basically says, "Do you have anything you want to add to any of this?"
Mm, I think just for clarity, are we gonna ask by way? Is it? Hold on. By when? Excuse me. Are we gonna ask by when for permission to do this? Because I don't see him allowing us to duel him after what happened in your previous duel.
Well, this just to also, it has been 2 weeks. Li Xiaoping actually had intended to have the duel happen. The ambassador from the Land of Five Blades was going to use his position as a uh, basically the one who was paying for the schooling of Bang Main by the Swordmaster Bai Wen. He was going to kind of strong arm the situation to where there would be a duel.
Then, all right, thank you for reminding me. I guess my next question then is, do we let, like, do we just straight up tell by when that we want to, kind of rig the fight like this?
He seemed very against Bing learning swordplay at all. I don't think, unless we convince him that if he doesn't, it's his head, that he would be okay with this. Which it very well may be his head if they find out that this kid doesn't know how to hold a sword.
And
True.
probably Fang's head too.
That might be the thing that holds more sway than anything. Do you think that how did have you interacted with Baiwen at all?
I have.
How did he strike you? I mean, not literally, but how did he strike you? What did you think of him?
With his left hand, he he seems like a man of conviction, and a man of honor. Well, perceived honor, at least. I don't think him squandering money the way he is very honorable. Accepting a job and then not doing it.
So rigid
But
to a
he
fault,
seems
but
to
obviously
have his reasons.
rigid to a fault, but obviously has broken his own code if he has one.
That's the read I get, yes.
Guy, do you have any observations you wish to share?
Nothing. I'm mostly just trying to think what sort of choreography can we do to make this performance look more realistic.
Well, I'll let you think that part over.
Hmm.
And Kyo, any thoughts on your end? Do you think of any way that we could possibly distract the other attendants to where they weren't paying as much attention to the fight?
Oh, I don't know if that's something that we're going to be able to do. I mean, everyone seems abuzz about the fight. It's going to have to happen, and they're going to be watching closely. But the fact that it's the governor's son may raise some eyebrows. Have they watched you fight a lot? I've been away. Have they watched you fight a lot, Chet?
People here. I had a training dojo commissioned when the palace was built, and so they know that I train in martial arts. I don't really have spectators while I train, though.
Right. But you are not. I mean, most of us, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, GM. Most of us are. This is a city of ninja, right?
Well, so there are ninja that are going to be here, but by and large, this is a city overseen and ran by the new government under Asa
Oh, okay.
Sakamoto.
Okay. I was gonna say, with your enlightened, you're not ninja, so they shouldn't. It shouldn't raise eyebrows, right? I mean, it may raise eyebrows anyway, but it's not going to raise like the authorities' ire if you start, because you're not part of a clan, right?
It shouldn't.
But you can do some
with
things. I mean, I suppose we could use. I don't know if there's any kind of way that we could use Key on the side. His dad knows that we're ninja, right?
Yes, very,
Okay,
definitely.
okay. I'm like, what? How deep does this conspiracy go? um, maybe there's a way we could use Key to create some kind of distraction from the
looking
sidelines.
at Kyo, Chet is gonna put his hand to his chin and tilt his head slightly. When it comes to Kyo's build, in compared to Baiwen, how similar are they?
Oh yeah, I am tall and broad. Uh-oh. Justine. We lost your face. Can you hear us, Justine?
I can.
Are we going to get the spooky cam?
We
I'm
might.
trying to avoid it.
Okay. I love your little icon has just replaced Guy's face. You've moved into his place. But yeah, what is my build in comparison to Baiwen?
Tell you what.
You said Baiwen, right? Not Fang?
Yes.
Yeah. So Bai Wen is the master. Fang is the student.
Yeah.
Uh, Tell you what, I will let you spend, and let's go ahead and get this out of the way. So, for table karma, I believe that's the term. We will go ahead and set it at our four members here. I will say that you have almost the same build if you spend three of those.
I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it.
Is everybody else okay with it?
Hmm.
All right.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Okay. Would you happen to have any textile trade in the land of five blades?
Some. Yes. I think we talked about that last time. Yeah, I've dealt with them, maybe not as much, but or I guess it's Seed and Blossom that I haven't dealt with much. I definitely have textile trade in Land of the Five Blades.
And she's also worked in diplomacy there, moving letters through the empire.
Well, if we can get Fang on our side, we can dress Kyo up as Bai Wen. We should be able to escort Fang to where we are without raising too many flags.
That could work.
For the purposes of training, is that
For the purposes of training.
okay?
And to jump him in.
All right. Well, your father, lets you basically, he kind of nods and it's like, okay, you're getting into the nitty gritty of what y'all are going to do. He's going to go do his part. He basically takes his leave. He's going to go meet with the ambassador and make sure that obviously the swordmaster and the rest of the soldiers are present. But that should leave Feng Mian by himself if you, as a group, try to approach him.
Alrighty.
I say we give it a shot. I say the two faces, the two charismatic people in the group. See what they can do.
We shall do our best.
All right. Well, if you go looking for him, you proceed through the area of this palace grounds, the high stone walls, the white, kind of terracotta, buildings, and you find Feng outside of one of these locations. There's a garden there, and he's essentially just relaxing in the garden. There is a bench, uh, well manicured lawn, some trees that have recently been planted. The smell of the fertilizer, of course, is a little bit much, a little bit rank, but it doesn't seem to bother him too much. And he has a fairly pleasant smile on his face when he sees the group of you. And more than likely, he is sitting there reading.
How old is this kid compared to us?
17, same age.
Okay.
Younger than some, older than others.
Yeah, because Ronto's old.
I'm so old,
Ronto's
guys.
Ronto's in her 20s now.
Anto can
Wait.
legally drink in most places.
Hell yeah.
Because you were 15 in season 1, 16 in season 2. So yeah, you're 20 now.
So old. You got so small.
You've aged. You've aged.
Does Rhonda have the beginnings of like first whiskers?
Whiskers
Wait,
at
no,
20?
It's well for puppies.
Yeah.
Oh, Ronto wishes.
But he sees the group of you and stands and makes a very, short but formal bow.
I bow back, but not as deeply.
He just smiles. Nice day.
Yes.
Ooh, what are you reading there?
Oh, and he, closes it up and presents. There is a ribbon with a, piece of parchment attached to it that reads that it is the 200 customary laws of the wood trade in the Southern Empire of the Land of Five Blades.
Ooh.
He's like, it's nothing really too important, but they say that the master who wrote this, it became kind of the groundwork for many of the other industries and ideas that incorporated some of the more traditional practices to where even after the harvesting of lumber that they replant and try to restart the forests in those areas.
Ronto has completely glazed over.
Same.
I'm moderately interested, but I'm trying to figure out how it matters to like make money.
It's like, trade? Oh.
Guy is eager to join in on this conversation and is hopefully, as a player, I'm hoping that I can use this as an opportunity to build a rapport with Feng Mian.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and make some rolls.
It's
Just to
about
start
time.
off.
Then
While you guys
Now-
make those.
Oh, sorry, Ronto, yes?
Oh, sorry. My dog is threatening to pee on the carpet, I think. So I'm gonna take her outside. She's
Do what you need
old.
to
She's
do.
got nothing to do.
We
Yep,
or
support
nothing to lose.
We support our four-legged friends on this channel. Yes,
I will be super fast, I promise.
no problem.
So-
So obviously you're talking with him in specific about so it's going to be knowledge.
hmm
What is your goal with this? I mean, you said that you're trying to build a rapport with him, but at the same time, do you have any other goal with this of maybe moving him out of the garden or taking him any place or things of that nature?
just to make him more amenable um to our future discussions. So maybe like persuade.
Persuade would work. Empathy would probably be a little bit more along those lines.
hmm
But I was going to say, if you were also trying to talk to him and maneuver him away, what do I got here? Oh, thank you so much, chat, for that GM karma. I'm going to say that if you were actually trying to maneuver him anywhere, to go anywhere, travel would have been, also something to use.
hmm I think I'm gonna go with if you allow me, the persuade, even if it's like at a higher check, because I at least have some ranks in that, whereas I have no ranks in empathy.
Absolutely, let's do it.
All right then.
And he'll actually be rolling as well.
hmm
And I will go ahead and spend that GM karma to get an extra dice on this character.
All right.
I forgot that
So
was the
thank you, Chad.
mechanic.
So I got 3 successes.
I got 3 successes as well. So what happens in a case of a tie?
For me, and this is something that I've come across recently as a GM, I think that ties really should go to players.
All right then.
I agree wholeheartedly.
So, yeah, I can't remember. I think that was Overlight that I read recently that was presented, and they gave a pretty good argument. And I was like, okay, you know what? Let's do it. So yeah,
And so I'm going on about other equally esoteric legislation over seemingly mundane things as well. And like for example, how I did the whole like salt investigation and whatnot several years ago, and I imagine that he and I are kind of getting on and on about the foundational importance of many of these legislations.
he stops you in the middle of that, and he's like, wait, you've heard of the Salt Cartel?
I'm the one that stopped their expansion.
And right there, you both, it's like eye to eye. You're on the same page.
Friend, we're hugging now.
Oh no. Okay. Well, we got replaced, guys.
So at that
We-
point, it becomes
We only
that-
helped you take down the salt cartel.
You did. These are the guys that helped me because I mean,
Oh,
I did the investigation. These guys are the ones that actually did the thing.
absolutely.
Wait a second. And he looks over at Chet. And he looks at your glasses and he's like, "You're the eagle with the reflective eyes, aren't you? And the stories that they tell."
Eagle.
Well, that's what the Salt Cartel said, that there was this eagle that descended from the skies with reflective eyes and defeated them with great mastery of skill, like
I was
launching them all off into the bay or something.
I was hoping for dragon, but yeah, that sounds like me.
So he is this gushing at this point, and he starts talking about all this. He's like, "You would be surprised," and he almost kind of starts talking about different corruptions that are out there in the trade industry and how sometimes merchants try to get away with things, all in the name of capitalism. And Kyo, you're probably like,
I mean,
This is getting a little bit more into her
I'm
to her
listening.
realm.
I'm listening.
but we'll say that at this point you could go wherever you wanted to with him.
And so, now out of character, we are trying to convince him to join us for some training, right? Ultimately, that is our goal at this moment. Yes.
Well, ultimately, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I do want to know how you're going to sell that to him. I mean, are you going to be straight up honest with him? Are you going to about what's coming his way, or are you going to go about, hey, we could spar for a while?
See, I have 2 dots in empathy. Does anyone have better empathy?
I may. Let me see here. Do. Oh, crap. I've got too many things open. My empathy is a 3.
That's better than 2.
It is. So I do have 3. I can chime in.
But
and
so,
help.
what are y'all going to say?
Well, so has the does he know that we're dueling?
Not yet. This is a discussion that's coming up.
Okay.
We're doing a little bit of inside baseball right now.
I will find he's sitting on the ground, right?
Oh no, there was a bench.
Okay. I am going to casually wipe off part of the bench, and I'm going to, if I may, and sit down beside him. And, Fang. May I call you Fang?
Certainly, please.
So, we would like to perhaps put on a bit of a performance. Chet told me how interested you were in sparring the other day, and somewhat disappointed that Bywin stepped in.
Yeah, and he kind of he kind of deflates a little bit at that, as if I mean he does not know that y'all listened in on the conversation, and that essentially his master was saying that he would have been defeated. Uh,
Yeah,
and that
but and I'm not revealing that.
no, but you brought up the subject of his fight, and it kind of brings that up a little bit. You think in his probably in his mind.
Okay. Well, in looking at him, I'm saying, what we would like to do. I mean, what does Bywin truly know of your skill, right? He's just been teaching you, right?
Oh yeah, well yeah. I mean he's my master.
Sure, but he's always going to grade you against his skills, is he not? So he's going to say that you're not ready because you know, he's only trained you to be less than what he is. What if you come with us and let my friend here, who's very skilled at sparring and very skilled at teaching, perhaps give you some pointers at his dojo?
Well, I think that'd be fine. But they're. Go ahead and give me a empathy intuition roll on this.
Okay. Empathy, intuition. Ooh, I have something that helps my intuition, but I don't think it's going to help me here. It is not. Let's see. That is. I've got 2 7s, an 8, and a 10. Do I get to roll that 10 again?
No, this counts as 2.
It just counts as 2. I'm in too many D10 systems right now. I'm getting all my
So you
all my
played too
systems
many
confused.
games.
So 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 successes.
I'm going to say that the difficulty would have been 2. So you are going to get a boost.
Sweet. So I would also like to perhaps, because we want him to be in on this duel, right? Or do we not?
I feel like not including him only makes it harder. But I also realize that letting him know is going to stir up a different kind of drama.
So I would say that I agree with the approach you're taking right now while we're out in the open.
Okay.
But unless it will cost more karma, because I know we only have the one left. I want to say that Chet would have had the dojo soundproofed.
Oh, okay. Well, with my boost, then can I just make him more open to listening to me? Have I sold him on this, that if we continue to speak to him in another location, that he would be interested? He'd be more open to suggestion.
Yeah. Well, so the test I was doing was empathy with intuition, and you pick up on the fact that he has a lot of trepidation about the sparring or practicing. He's probably still a little bit, I wouldn't say shell shocked, but the idea of getting the dressing down from your master, and obviously there's something going on that he doesn't understand. He that's what you picked up on that. But with the boost, in the way that boosts work, heightened effect. I would say that what you're wanting would definitely apply under a heightened effect, which is whatever you were trying to do, you do better. If you're trying to scare someone, you not only scare them, but you make them cry. In this case, you're actually able to turn that empathy into the idea that he gets the feeling that you're trying to help him. That this isn't, whether it's honest or not in reality, it comes off as an honest attempt.
Perfect. Just what I wanted. Well, our concern, we came to you because our concern is that Baiwen may try to stand in the way. We've already seen him try to keep you from, fighting once. We feel that he might not be too open to having you come and train with us. But we have ideas for how to get around that, if you're open to it.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. And then so we go on to explain our plot about dressing me up, I guess, as Baiwen, to make it look in some way that someone of similar build and presence is taking him to the is it a palace, a manor, wherever Chet lives, the house.
Well, right now you're at the essentially a governor's palace.
Oh yeah, so we just need to go to the training room.
Essentially, yes. So with that, he was going to roll to see to get a feel, just a blind feel on you're asking him to go by yourselves, and he wanted to see if this was honest, and if perhaps you had any malice, which obviously I know that none of you do as the GM. He made 3 successes, and you get the feeling that he is. This is probably something he's actually putting effort into, but he does see that, and which only I would say strengthens the bond between you at this point.
Sounds good.
So, how are y'all going to do this? Are you going to end up doing anything this day? Are you actually going to go start the training process, or what are you going to do?
I think we should. Sooner the better.
I mean, if he's open to it, might as well head that way.
All right. Uh, so let's go ahead and do tests all around within this group. You're all in the dojo. There at the. I'm gonna say that yes, for that extra karma, it is soundproofed, and you managed to get him there without too much fanfare, too much fuss. Really, at this point, it would only be if you had left the grounds of the palace that you would have drawn any suspicion. But for the four of you today to go and just go to the dojo, not a problem at all. So let's go ahead and see. What do you think each one of you are going to be doing during this point? So let's go ahead and get some tests in, or at least an idea of what it is that each one of you is going to be doing. And I'm gonna actually start. Yeah, I think just because of your relationship with him, I'm gonna start with Guy.
All right. So I would think that um, my preparations for this is going to be trying to draft up a choreography for this performance.
All right, that sounds
Sounds
like a
good.
good idea. So for yours, let's go ahead and say perform.
I
Would
was
definitely
thinking
be
like knowledge perform.
knowledge performed work. Crafting might work. Yeah, let's go knowledge perform. And let's come back to you with that with the actual test in a moment.
Sure.
What else is everyone doing? Ronto, do you want to say what you'd be doing?
Yeah, I think just because Chet has a higher discipline, if Chet could start showing Fang the basics, uh, Ronto, I think, would be a patient enough, essentially like test dummy, say like, okay, you've been given you've been given your instructions. Come at me. I'm not gonna beat you to the ground or anything like that. Because she doesn't really favor blades. But if she knows what a good strike looks like, so come at her this way, okay, move your arms this way, keep your stance forward, move it back, that kind of thing. So she just kind of critiques him as he goes after her.
So let's go fortitude, because you're essentially not really striking back, and you're letting him try to attack. So I'm gonna say fortitude and probably fighting. I think that would work between the two,
Yeah, I think that sounds perfect.
and we'll come back for that in just a moment. Chet, let's go ahead and get you in, and then Kyo will get to you in just 1 second. But Chet, what are you going to be doing?
Okay. So I'm gonna be the one. Like while he's going for Ronto, I'm going to be watching his footwork, watching his stance, and essentially correcting him where needed. And yeah, pretty much just like making sure he has a good practice weapon, making sure that he's not going to hurt himself first and foremost, because I'm less worried about Ronto getting hurt in this situation.
Okay.
So I was thinking discipline and fighting.
Let's go ahead and let's think here. Yeah, let's discipline and fighting would work. I would also, because the observation skill being used, perception and fighting would also work. So whichever you think would be a little bit better in those two.
Okay, I think discipline fighting would be better.
Okay, and finally, Kyo.
I really don't know what I'd be using. This is not my forte.
Would you like me to make a suggestion?
Sure.
Something that Kyo could do. I'm thinking now that we're in a soundproof dojo, it's time to come clean. And
Okay.
you're the best at talking.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Just like,
So,
I'll leave it to your discretion.
okay. Explain that. So, you want me to? This would be a good time to explain to him that we're planning this duel and that it's kind of a performance. Or are we leaving that part out that we're faking it?
I would say that we come completely clean and just let
Okay.
him know that in an actual one-on-one fight, I would destroy him, and I
Mhm.
can even show him visually by breaking something that doesn't look very breakable.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can do that. I can
And
definitely.
and that like this is kind of what's happening, and we're gonna make sure that you look good so that you and Bai Wen can keep going on doing what you're doing, but we get to keep our city.
Right. Right. And yeah, that's what. Yeah, so I will do
All
that.
right. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna say that based on the rules, the instructions. Those of y'all who are giving instruction on making this look like, teaching them to fight. We'll start with those two. So that would be Ranto and Chet. You're looking at starting with a 2.
Okay.
So to get the instruction. So you're both looking at 2 successes. So 2 successes for Chet, 2 successes for Ranto. Guy, you're looking to make choreography. And what I'm going to say is this, is that the difficulty of someone being able to see that choreography as false will be based upon your successes.
Okay.
And then finally, Kyo, I'm setting a difficulty of 3 to basically. I'm not saying you would fail necessarily, but you're looking at a 3 for him to be completely on board.
Sure, sure. What role am I making? Do I need to sell you on a
Uh,
role?
if you got one in specific that you can go that you'd like to go with, you can. Otherwise, I would say more than likely persuade and empathy.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can haggle with you about using a bonus. So I
I
do
would also like to
have
haggle when you're done.
yeah. Uh my being a merchant or traveler, I get a +2 persuade when haggling or negotiating. That's not necessarily guess it's kind of a negotiation that we're having right now, or get a +1 persuade. It's specifically to convince someone to let us into a restricted area. But so by strict wording, they don't necessarily apply.
I believe they do. And the
Okay.
reason I would say that is the reality that when you're when you're running a game, I don't do shopping montage haggling enough, probably. And so it's really it would be unfair for you to have this thing on your character sheet if it couldn't apply in other situations.
Sure. Okay. And then just to let you know, there is a trigger for the one that would probably apply would be the one when making a deal that goes sideways or causes trouble. So just keep in mind that if something screws up, I can earn a karma from that. But can I use both of them or just one of them?
I would allow both.
Sweet, that's another 3 dice.
And Guy had something that you were going to bring up as well.
Yes. So I was also wanting to trigger my temperament trigger, my perfectionist trigger, which is I have to perform the same task until I get a style boost. But since I'm setting the difficulty for an audience instead of overcoming a difficulty that you've set that doesn't necessarily work. And so, what I'm thinking is if um, maybe I can trigger this instead by trying to get a repeat roll that's higher than my first roll. Would that qualify for triggering this?
I would say yes. Otherwise, a boost is always 3
Mm-hmm.
points, higher, 3 successes higher than whatever the difficulty is.
Yeah.
And I would say if you really want to shoot for 5
Mm-hmm.
successes, I would let it go off as well.
Right. And we can have this be as like a time thing where the more times I try, the more fatigued I get on a later the next day or whatever or something like that.
Sounds fair. So let's
You
go
want to switch?
around. Yeah, let's go ahead and everybody just let me know what you roll, and we'll build the scene from there.
I got roll happy earlier, but I got 2 successes.
Okay.
I rolled 3 10s, 2 7s, and a 9. And if my math is correct, that's 9 successes.
Yeah, so that is
Math is correct.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that is 2 boosts over the top, which
Okay.
you can actually give to someone else. Did anyone else have trouble?
I only got 2 successes. I rolled 1 10, and the rest were below 7. Out of 9 dice. You got
So-
all my successes, Chet.
So technically, you could give her one of those, basically passing it on as a streak bonus to, Kyo, so that would put her over 3. So it would be a success,
Okay. Yeah.
and
So
and that would be one more boost that you could use for something.
yeah, I'm gonna use one of the boosts for enhanced effect, and then I'll throw the second one at Kyo.
Sweet. Yeah, I only need 1.
And Guy, how did you do?
My first roll was a 7.
7 successes.
7 successes. All right. And
Holy
so-
crap, I thought you meant 1 success because you rolled a 7. I didn't realize 7 success. Wow, nice.
7 successes. So, should I roll again to try and beat myself because I'm a perfectionist?
I would say go for it, but at the same time, I'm gonna say you're gonna kick off your boost ability.
There you go. All right, I'm gonna do it because I'm a perfectionist. It has to be perfect. It has to look believable. But anyways, you can keep on going with someone else.
I don't know if this changes anything, but one of the dice that I thought was a 6 was a 9, so I actually had 10.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So no, I wouldn't add another boost. Sadly.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Good first roll of the day.
So we're gonna say that as you close off the dojo, you get a little bit serious, Kyo, and you begin to explain. But at the same time, you're putting forth a little bit of empathy. You're obviously you're acknowledging the situation as it stands. You know that there is a duel coming. You haven't really revealed that, but you know there's a duel coming, and you know that he would not technically, if this was to the death and not just a sparring match, he would not survive. If it was just a martial contest, he might not survive. And Chet, you're kind of a little bit of that. You is like, yeah, that boost that goes to Kyo is from a little bit of the realization that he would be facing you, and that his master had to step in to stop the fight. So it takes a moment, and he doesn't break down, but there's this moment of why. I did not want any of this. I did not want to be involved in any of this politics, any of this, you know, hidden agendas. I want nothing to do with this ambassador. Even though he's paying for my school, I want nothing to do with him. So, Guy, you present this plan and you begin to work on it. And how did you do on your second roll, actually?
So I did a whole bunch of rolls while I was muted. It took me 7 additional tries to get 8 successes. And so we can even thematically chalk that up to Guy stayed up all night, and I finally made it better, made the best choreography. And you can see him looking haggard, his eyes are droopy, and all that.
As you begin to figure out a choreography with him, uh, you acknowledge Peng's master is a sword master. So the style of fighting that he has been trained for or knows some knowledge of is sword mastery. So you begin to work it out, and it takes a while as you're training him. And it finally hits this moment of he's not a sword master, but masters seem to make it look easy, don't they? Like masters is what they do. It looks easy. So what if you made it look like what he was doing was easy and have Chet be the one that's reacting? And so, as if Chet was going to make a strike, but the blade was there in his way before he could get close. And it becomes a matter of just teaching him positions. Okay, go to position 1. All right, block in position 2. Okay, now turn and raise your sword up high. All right, and you start to work out this choreography, and it's actually really damn good. Like, you are like, okay, this is great. I could do better. And you begin to work it out. You are like over there, kind of got your scrawls out. You might even be writing a little bit on the floorboards off to the side with chalk, which Chet you might see, and it drives you a little bit nuts. But you're like, it's Guy.
I would assume it'd be like theater, where you're like, is it just called marking? What is it? Is anyone here a theater nerd?
No.
When you
Not
like
that
place
cool.
down,
But
when
yeah,
you
when you
place
set
down
up marks, yeah, I think it's just called marking.
It's called blocking.
Blocking. That
So
might
he's
be it.
essentially just like marking where we need to stand and win.
Also, I have in my own little headcanon that meme of the conspiracy theorists with the board with all the string on it.
Yeah, the
That
Charlie Cox. Yeah.
yeah, that's my image of Guy at this moment as the day continues.
You put in a pretty long day, and he's exhausted. And you begin to depart the dojo, and walking around, walking through. It's obvious that recently the meeting of the ambassadors and your father has gotten out. And Master Baiwen walks up with a few soldiers, looks at all of you, and says, "Excuse me, my student and I need to talk." And pretty much shuffles Peng away. Now, all this has happened in the course of just one day. Uh, one of the soldiers from your household, Chet, says that Governor Kawasaki wishes to speak with you.
Very well. I'll catch up with you guys later. Unless he wants to speak with them too, and I misunderstood. Okay.
Well, I mean, I will say all of you could go along. Essentially, when you do go to your father, he informs you that yes, things unraveled as he expected. The ambassador did essentially set up this duel, which is for the land, which your family is already overseeing, but they would give up their claim to the land. So, that said, he's like, yeah, I'm certain that he thinks he's pulling one over on us. Uh, but I think we all know where this is going. That said, I have offered up. Baiwen is wanting to train him and has asked for access to the dojo. And I said that they would have access to it for training. So more than likely, you're going to need to broach that subject with them tomorrow about what exactly is happening in your plan as well.
But all of our
Yes.
all of our markings are on the floor, though, right?
Are they?
We can.
Well, I'm asking that very surreptitiously and quietly, out of earshot from the governor.
We're ninja. We can figure something out.
It looks like there's a dance team in there practicing.
Oh,
You can just chalk it up to Guy and his crazy invention, uh, one of his building fancies.
Guy's inventing this world's first K-pop band.
Exactly, that's what's happening here. Yes.
Well,
Just make him use the side. I'm sure there's a side that's got like sand for the floor. Just make him use that side.
if
God,
this is the case, we
when you said
may need.
K-pop band, all of a sudden, I'm sorry, it went through my head. Bye, 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 when. Yeah.
No, John. No.
Sorry.
That's precious.
No.
Oh,
If this is the case, we may need to bring Baiwen on this. I doubt that
Yeah.
he wants his secret spilled.
Did we get the impression that he would be open to that?
You know,
Oh,
we can,
you're right though. We do have that knowledge. We could blackmail.
now you're thinking like a ninja.
Now I'm thinking like a what is the one that the hidden strands? That's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of the hidden strands. I guess a warden of equilibrium could do the same. It's too much
And-
imbalance.
And as far as our end, things on board. We
excellent.
let him know. We let him know everything that's happening. Just about. And we demonstrated to him that in a straight up fight he would lose. And that we are helping him save face. Hopefully we can convince Baiwen the same.
Okay. So that said, we're gonna just based on the situation. The next day comes, and your group has the opportunity to make your way to the dojo. More than likely using some of the secret tunnels that you've utilized before, and make your way in there without anyone knowing. At which point, you kind of surprise Baiwen a little bit. He's like, doesn't understand what is happening until you begin to explain it. And I will go ahead and let you make a test on that to go ahead and build some more effects. Possibly, if you get high enough, I'm going to set difficulty at 2. If you can
Okay.
get your boosts in on that, that'll, of course, give you the opportunity for streak bonus with the tests that may be coming up.
Hmm.
So, with that said, convince by when? How would you like to do it?
Who's making the roll?
I can probably do it again if I need to.
Okay.
I do have the empathy and the persuade.
Chet hands Guy a thermos of coffee.
I am barely standing up, but yes, it's appreciated. Oh, by the way, was I able to earn the karma from doing my temperament trigger?
Yes.
All right,
How many karma is it? Just one?
just one, yeah.
Y'all, I found it. I found the thing. I've made chat commands for adding karma
I
to
noticed
the
that. I've been paying
pools,
attention.
and so I'm using
Oh,
that to keep our karma counts on screen.
It's
Nice. Thank you
Chat.
so
fancy.
much.
So if at
I
any
was wondering
point,
what that was.
audience, yeah, at any point, audience, if you want to see what our pools are, exclam karma and exclam GM karma will tell you who's got what. Anyway, so yeah, so will I get to make the same roll? The with the extra persuade. Sorry, I keep looking at John because he's next to me. Will I get to make the extra persuade? Get the bonus dice for those
Yes.
for this? Okay. Um, so we are meeting with Bywin, correct? We're all here now in the dojo.
Yeah, we snuck in.
Okay.
We came in through the bathroom window.
Came in through the bathroom. Now, see, that's a song that I love, John, and it's such a better than Bye Bye Bywin. But
You hush.
Getting saucy in here.
getting saucy. Um, uh, would it be Master Win or Master Bywin? What would be the appropriate?
I
Since he's a
believe
sword master,
I believe that his surname, based on the way that I
is
was
By.
working through, would actually be Wen. I
Oh,
believe that because I was using a
a
language.
Western. Okay, okay. So I would Master Win. Um, you know, we are very honored to have you use this dojo to train Sir Fang here. Um, but I did want to speak with you, and we feel it is very important that you know that we know that Fang has not been learning the trade for 3 years.
He's fairly stoic with that, but we'll go ahead and obviously you're going to go over your plan. He looks around at the markings on the floor, and he's like, "This is your plan?"
We spent the day yesterday working on choreography with Fang to maintain appearances for your sake and ours.
All right, let's go ahead and get a test in there then.
Okay, that's better than last time.
And I'm setting the difficulty at 2 because really, uh, this student's existence and what he has been doing is already kind of broken his identity of the rigid honor that he tries to present. Uh, and it's not really you interacting with him. You get the feeling that it really is not even about his own life, but the life of his student.
I got 4 successes.
All right, so that won't be enough for the raise, but we'll go ahead and say that it is a success. He is on board. He will, however, excuse himself. There's this one last little part in his, in him that's like, I will let this happen, but I do not want to participate.
Chat will, under his breath, say, "We haven't participated so far, so that's fine."
We understand, Master Wen. I do recommend that you not be seen outside of the dojo by many if you're to be training him in here. Again, keeping up appearances.
I will depart the way you came in and wait in my quarters. When you are done training him, based on your plan, bring him to the quarters and depart hidden from there. And so we have a plan, and things are going to be going this way for a while. We're going to go ahead and we're going to hand wave a little bit and fast forward to the duel. And I'm going to say that we're going to try and get this in before the break. So we're going to break in about 10, 20 minutes. But let's go ahead and say that it's the day of the duel. The same dignitaries that were there on the day of the arrival that waited for the promenade with the ambassador and all of his attendants arriving. Those same people are in attendance at the large chamber where your father oversees the politics that take place for this town. They have all sat around the outside edge because ultimately, what is going to happen in this duel, for those who aren't in the know, they believe that this duel is paramount. Like, this is the future of two empires being possibly decided in this moment. And yet, somehow, it is almost a day in the life for a ninja.
Stop quoting Beatles songs.
I'll try. I didn't know that the Beatles had the, that it's been a hard day's ninja was, such a popular song.
A day in the life is a, is a. Sorry. Go on.
But
Now we
here-
did not tell Bai Wen that we were going to have Fang lose. Did he? Did he get that impression?
Nah, I think he can guess.
Okay. Just wanted to be clear that I did not divulge that part.
He understands that. I think he would understand that Baiwen's going to lose. He'd lose one way or another, but at least this way, possibly Fang would live afterwards, and maybe go on to do something else. Hopefully. But so here's what's going to happen for the next scene. I want to know: are all of you present as well?
Who's
For
not
the duel?
present?
Yeah, for the duel. Are y'all going to be present?
Isn't the whole
Oh, heck
town
yeah.
present?
Hmm.
Not the whole town, just the people who were all the important dignitaries. Y'all were there for security purposes.
Oh, okay. I
But
mean,
it-
I would like to be there.
Okay. So I'm going to assign tests all around. So the choreography is going to happen. But Chet, you're going to be making a series of tests to play out your part.
Okay.
And this is how well you can sell the fight.
Yeah. Can I be the heel?
Sure.
You essentially are.
But that said, I'm also going to say that everyone else is going to need to make some deception tests. The difficulty is going to be 2. And that is, people are going to be watching you, and based on your reactions to the fight taking place, they're going to wonder if you might have some inside knowledge. Especially if you don't gasp at the right moments or don't react as thoroughly as the rest of the people do.
So is
Yeah.
this deception and perform, or can we use persuade?
I would allow, if you can give me a good explanation, I will allow whatever other skill, but deception will be one of them. So if you want to say if you're this trying to hide yourself entirely, stealth of some sort,
No, I will be seen, but I would like to have some type of. I don't have perform, so but I would prefer to persuade in a nonverbal way that I can that I don't have knowledge.
Yep. And I would even say fortitude. However you want to describe it, like fortitude would be trying to be stoic the entire fight.
No, I react.
What if you do stealth and knowledge to hide the fact that you know?
That you know that you know, but they
Stealthy
don't know that
knowledge.
you know. All right, so Chet, let's go ahead and start off with you. We're going to go around the table. We're going to go Chet, Ronto, Guy, and Kyo. Chet, you're having to sell this fight. It is extremely well choreographed, but at the same time, there's a chance that Fang doesn't do a great job. He is very new to the sword, so a lot of this lies on you.
Oh yeah, I didn't get to do my next idea for training, but the day 2 of training was essentially me teaching him how to take a hit.
Okay. I was gonna
'Cause he
say that works. At the same time, you could have gone Miyagi on it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well, it's just like he probably has never really been hit before.
probably
Okay, so I'm thinking fighting perform.
fighting perform. I am going to go ahead and let you know uh, that you're being watched by professional soldiers. You're looking at a difficulty of 3 for the majority of them, 4 for your last one. So it's going to be we're going to have 4 tests in a row. So 3 for your first 3 tests, 4 for that last test. The rest of you, all you have to do is get deception of 2. Because people aren't really watching you. Yeah. But that's what we're doing. So let's go ahead and start off with Chet.
All right.
Well, before he does that, you said before that my my crafting of the choreography was going to set the difficulty for people like perceiving the whether it's real or not, right?
Yes.
How are you going to be incorporating that? I'm curious. Like, are they going to be rolling? Are the
Honest,
NPCs?
honestly, nobody's going to doubt that this is a real fight.
Mhm.
Nobody's going to be doubting Pang. The fact of the matter is that Pang is also a
Fang.
new swordsman. Sorry, Fang is also a new swordsman. No idea, could mess up, and it's going to be on Chet to make up for those mess ups.
Mhm.
And also the entire time that we weren't training him, I was out cutting promos for the fight.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
I
Fing,
would
you've come into my home, and you are demanding that it is your land. I'll have you know.
It's
So
like a bunch of poorly photoshopped flyers on everybody's windshield.
the reason why I asked is, we be okay? Would you allow me to spend the karma that I generated with this choreography to reduce the difficulty of those checks that Chet has to do?
Let me look really quick if I can apply it that way. He should be able to use that the karma that was generated to beat to add more dice.
Sure.
But let me double check really quick.
I don't think that actually is a rules as written use of the karma. I would imagine this would be more DM fiat than anything.
You told us you like to play loose, John.
I do, but at the same time, I'm trying to do a little bit better, and
There is a
oh,
delicate
Start
balance.
next week.
wow. Because the thing is, technically, you've generated karma that's already giving a bonus. That has the opportunity to give a bonus.
Sure.
I mean, I could use it on the last roll.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Get
just
like
use
that little bit of edge.
Yeah, and you could technically be generating karma with boosts this entire, for
Mhm.
those first 3 tests.
Fair enough.
Yeah. All right.
I'm going to change mine from. Oh, sorry. I was just going to change mine from persuade to perception because I would like to be aware of the people around me that are watching Chet. And if at any point I need to do something to perhaps distract them, I want to be able to know when that should be. If that makes sense.
All right.
Before the fight starts, I would like to hype up the crowd and establish my heel status. What's the name of the city again?
Ketsucho.
Yep.
Okay. Dang, we are finally here today to fight to determine the fate of Ketsucho. Are you ready?
Chet is ready.
Onsaw's ready.
Chetsuo is ready. I can't do that. It hurts my throat too much.
Fang's just like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Snap it to a fin, Myung.
Oh no.
I know that I'm ready for this fight. I can see that you're ready for this fight. But I don't think this crowd is ready for this fight.
Someone throws a folding chair into the middle of the auditorium.
Oh, now a riot's gonna start. I've watched the Boondocks.
Fang's gonna use that chair on you.
Now I'm mad. All right. First one. Here we go. So many things have happened. Okay, so that's 1, 2, cool. 3 on the first one.
Woo woo, go chat, woo! From the stands.
Is
No, I'm more serious than that.
5 on the second one.
All right, and remember, let's go ahead and get the first one. All of y'all need to be making your deception test too. So, Ronto, deception up for your first one.
I think I'm gonna have to go with stealth. I'm gonna keep my hat low and kind of keep my cloak a little bit higher so people just don't catch. Because I have nothing in deception.
I'll give
So
you
I
a
think I'm
plus
just
one.
rolling.
I'll give you a +1 for equipment.
Okay.
And you
so
always
I am
get
rolling
1.
5.
Well, yeah, that's only.
I was gonna say, is that applied here? I know that's a World of Darkness thing.
It is if you have nothing in either skill necessary.
Got
Yeah,
it. Okay.
I misthought.
That's okay. Let's see. So I got the one. Let me make sure I'm not grabbing too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. No successes.
No successes. Did you roll any ones?
No.
Okay. You might get somebody looking over your way, wondering why you're not paying attention to the fight. We'll say that at this point.
You better succeed next time.
I'll
Other
try.
than
Can-
don't
can-
kill each other, are there rules for this fight?
Have fun.
Be friends afterwards.
Queen of Dukesbury rules or whatever it is, all that sort of stuff. No, there really are no rules, other
Okay.
than
Good. Then
when
good.
when the opponent yields.
I rolled really well, so could I potentially send dice or send successes towards Ronto?
Yes, you technically could.
Because you said the difficulty's only 2, right? Well, I got I got 7.
Okay, so you would generate one boost.
One
that
boost.
goes there.
So I would send it her way.
Okay, so that gives me 1 success.
It's something.
No, for sure.
All right. And what about Guy? Guy, did you get any extras?
4.
4 successes. Okay.
4 successes.
So the person does look over their shoulder at you, Ronto, and they're like, "Hey, pay attention, Fate of the Empire."
Just elbows me, I elbow him back.
I hope Kamu just like drools on his shoulder.
Hamu's like above, going up.
Precisely.
All right, next test. So, Chet, what did you generate?
So I got 5 for my second because I already rolled it. I didn't wait for their stealths.
No problem. And what did you roll on your first check?
Rolled 3 on my first, 5 on my second.
Okay. So far, no extra karma gained for you.
Yep.
All right, and everybody else. So your second deception test. 3.
5 for me.
So possible boost there. There we
4
go.
for me.
Would you like to put that boost in the karma pool, or is there an effect you would like to get with that for Guy? There's obviously a bonus for both. There's I would let you. I'm gonna be nice, and I'll say time crunch. You could apply that boost to your next test and technically get a success.
Um,
Can that be?
actually,
Hmm.
I have an idea, and this is going to require a little bit of bargaining between you and me. Can I use that for my next check to, instead of be like a present day at the in the moment deception skill, be a flashback to a thing that we didn't discuss in the choreography, but it is part of the choreography.
Okay, and what would that be?
A essentially a squib, essentially a motion in the choreography that would cause Chet's kimono to unravel as if it was cut.
I like it. Let's go for it.
Then that's my next roll. Then that's what I'm using my boost for.
Actually, we could say that that is a heightened effect, and this put that out there.
All right then.
There's just like an audible in the audience.
All right, third test. Let's go for it.
Okay.
Is this the one where you're using the karma chet?
Fourth test is the
Fourth
one I'm going to
test,
use the
okay.
karma for. So let's see what I do. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 successes. And to fight a little bit dirty, I pick up some gravel from the ground and I throw it at his eye.
Boo.
Have we had any rerolls bought by chat yet?
Nary a reroll, but lots of karma. I don't know if I've got rerolls turned on. That might be my bad.
Rerolls are not turned on.
Oh, I failed.
Oh,
It's okay. So sorry. So you got one. Where was Guy on this test?
On this test, just 2. So I made this the success, but not impressively.
I'm gonna say this. If chat doesn't come through on this, then what will happen is one of the soldiers on the other side for the Land of Five Blades is going to be watching you for the next test. So they're going to be watching to see. They're like, wait a second.
There is a reroll on the table.
There you go. Would you like to take that reroll?
Me?
Yes.
Well,
or who?
for Ronto, since you.
I only rolled one. Here we go. We're at 4 again.
There we go. All right, final test.
Nice. Oh,
Okay.
2 rerolls. So there's another reroll on the table.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, karma. I'm going to use it. This is the 4th one. I got to stop being so violent with throwing my dice around. So that's 1, 2, 3,
Oh, and
4.
And were you only going to use 1 point of karma, or how much were you going to use?
How much do we have? I thought we only had the 1.
We were at 4. I'm sorry. Yeah, we were at 4. So we're down to 3 with the 1. Would you like to use more?
I mean,
all your successes.
I already did the roll and I got 7, so I got enough to get a boost.
Yes, you did.
So I'm gonna say that I won't use that any more karma than just the one I use.
All right. So, but with that boost, what would you like?
I will heighten, I will enhance, and I will be like, oh, Bang, you are so good at sword fighting. I see that Master Bai Wen has taught you well. That means that I have to break out my ultimate technique, and then I go in for the finisher where
Ultimate
I rush
technique,
at him.
What is this?
I rush at him. He swings his sword at me. I bend backwards, get back onto my hand, go up on one hand, wrap one leg around his head, and bring his head to the ground. And we practice it so it doesn't hurt too much, but he knows to pretend to be unconscious right now.
He bounces off the mats on the floor and remains motionless. Everybody in the room rises. And after he does not move for a moment and you are still standing, the entire audience erupts. Like there's calls and yells and this hurrah and just a fanfare while this smaller group representing the Land of Five Blades looks on stoically. And after a few moments, Feng Mian begins to slowly rise. The room goes silent after a bit, and Li Xiaoping meets with your father before the group on the same mat where you two fought.
Okay. Is he supposed to rise at this point? Is that like part of it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
was
we
about to
didn't
be
work
like-
that out, but that's part of the overall the overall ceremony.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was about
Yeah,
to
you
be
get
like,
the whole.
dude, what are you doing? Stay down.
Now you get the whole Karate Kid Johnny, handing you the trophy and goes, "You're all right, kid."
Yeah. Yeah. I won with an illegal move.
But Li Xiaoping and your father stand opposite each other, and a edict is presented. Li Xiaoping bows. He is very red-faced while doing so. He doesn't look happy, but he is still stoic. But he signs it, and it is presented to your father. The Land of Five Blades, will not claim the city of Kitsucho
Or the
from,
mines, right?
well, for the mines and for the city overall. Like this territory, they will cede it to Sakamoto.
Good.
And we're going to go ahead and pause here and take our 10-minute break. And when we come back, we'll see what our ninjas are doing for the next half of our show. So we'll see y'all all very soon.
See ya. Stay with us.
All right, good evening and welcome back, everybody, to Growing Shadows Ninja Crusade. So, when we last left our heroes, they had just finished with this duel. Now, the ambassador, Li Xiaoping, is probably not going to stick around too often, or, too much longer. I wouldn't say he's lost face, but this definitely is a blow to the ego and any future plans that he had for the moment, which means that his entire entourage will be going. Is there anything that y'all are going to be doing or any maneuvers that you're going to make before he does leave?
Fang and Bai Wen would be a part of that, right?
Yes.
I think just out of curiosity, Ronto might approach Fang at one point since they seem to be on a pretty chill level and just kind of ask what the relationship is between him and Bai Wang.
Fang explains that he was an orphan and that the opportunity to study under a swordmaster was pretty much something he had never imagined. Uh, that it started off as just being adopted, uh, and it's more of a familial relationship. And Bai Wen wanted something more for his son than just being another sword. And that's why he sent him off to a college in the southern lands of the land of the Five Blades.
So Bai Wen adopted him.
Yes.
Okay, that makes more sense. I say before the ambassador leaves, I think we would be remiss to not once again have super stealthy listening mission. I don't think Bai Wen and Fang are necessarily people that we need to continue to listen to. But the ambassador is not pleased, and I'm quite sure he and the scholar will be having quite a discussion.
I had the exact same thought.
Wavelength.
So, are you going to go that very evening?
Probably as soon as we can reasonably get away without drawing too much attention after the duel. After the lands are ceded to the governor and to Sakamoto, I think, because if they're going to go and pack up and leave, because I get the impression that they did not anticipate losing. And so they thought they were going to get their lands back. And as such, they probably didn't pack up to leave. They probably were settling in a little bit. Because if they got the land back, they could remove Kawasaki as the governor and take over his palace until Aiko Sakamoto could be dealt with. So I assume they're going to be back in their rooms trying to pack up, and I think we need to be there as quickly as possible without drawing too many wandering eyes to overhear what they're about.
So, there is quite the commotion coming from that room. There is Li Xiaoping, the captain Wu Ji, and also the scholar Hao Haidong are all three in that room. And Li Xiaoping is just grilling them. He's like, "How could this happen?"
I have a question.
Yes.
You said a name that I didn't recognize. Wu Ji?
So Captain Wu Ji is the leader and the head of the security and the military forces.
Okay, I would like to know where and if we have seen Tan Long.
All right. So Tanlong, you would have been in the room with all the people. In fact, we can say that Tanlong was the one that looked over at Ronto and was watching at that last moment to see how she was responding.
Okay. Because I had kind of forgotten about him, but I feel like he would have been a little peeved just because I know he had a sword and he seemed to be quite well trained and was expecting conflict, that he did not get to be in the duel.
Perhaps, but I will say he is not here right now. Would he be someone you'd be looking for?
No, if he didn't stand up at the end of the duel and cause any trouble.
Really, just the overall situation took all of them by such surprise that really nothing out of the ordinary happened. It was a matter of saving face. It was a matter at the same time of being honestly outnumbered at this point. But Li Xiaoping is just grilling them. He's like, "How in the world could this have happened?" Bai Wen is one of the great sword masters, one of the five great blades of our kingdom. Fang Mian is his student. You promised me that there was nothing unusual about him. The captain, Wuxi is just like, no, everything looked like it was by the book. In fact, I was quite impressed. Uh, it was like he was honestly that he lost was pretty impressive. He was reading. It was almost like he's like, I would have thought he was reading his opponent's moves. He was just that far ahead. But it was like all of a sudden, just honestly, I'm sorry, Ambassador, but the young man was better.
No one can counter that secret move.
And
Shh!
when he says that, the ambassador like knocks over one of the dressers, just grabs it and throws it down.
Now that was uncalled for.
What did the dresser ever do?
That is not your furniture.
But this discussion goes on for a while, and both the scholar and the captain are trying to calm him down. And when they turn the discussion to other ways that perhaps this could, turn out without it, they're like, okay, so we have given up our past claims to this land. You can always try to purchase it from them. They start listing off other things. They're trying to come up with other solutions for how to get this. But you are listening for a while, and a lot of it is just like big risk. Like, you can try purchase it, but are they going to give it up? You could make, just because you're giving up the past claim based on the Empire of the Five Blades doesn't mean that you could do something else. Chet is the son. Maybe you could arrange a marriage. They start listing off a million different ways to try and do something. They even talk about, well, what about an invasion force? And the ambassador is like, looks over at the captain and, it's like, would your men follow me into a quest to claim this land? And the captain pauses and thinks for a moment. It's like, no, they wouldn't. This was very public. There is no way that this is not going to get out that this land is now unclaimable by us for, past holdings. And
And it is going to get out because I'm going to encourage Guy to send it through his network.
And the ambassador is just like after hours of this, finally sits down on the edge of a raised bed in the room and just sits and is like, I'm ruined. I'm ruined. I had set up so many possible contracts. We're done.
I quietly say, what a dumbass. Never promise something you can't deliver.
Womp womp.
I'm gonna file that away in my brain to see if I can get Guy's spy network to see who those contracts were going to go to, and see if we can set up some of those contracts.
It takes some time, but pretty much the night ends with servants quietly packing things up with the intent of leaving at dawn. Is there anything else anyone's going to be doing?
That night, I'm going to say that I'm going to sleep of the dead, as it has been a hectic few days or a week.
What about Ferranto?
I think after she's caught up with Fang, and if it's time for Sleepy, I think she's gonna go find out wherever Camu's been hauling up on the palace grounds and just snuggle outside. This indoor city life is too rough.
All right. And for Tuan?
You're muted,
You're
bud.
muted, my friend. Sorry, guy. You're muted.
I was responding to a message. Can you say that one more time?
Oh, I was saying, so is there anything you'd like to do before this entourage and the ambassador leaves in the morning?
Nothing that I could think of other than just going to sleep since I didn't get much last night.
That's right.
Guys,
We're
a little
teenagers, we
loopy
sleep
right
a
now.
lot.
Exactly.
Chet.
So, training Feng has really eaten into Chet's personal training time, because he's had to lower himself to like a lesser skill level. So now he's gonna pretty much spend the night training to keep, just to get a little bit back into shape.
To make up for the week.
Yeah, he'll even invite Bang and By One if they're interested, even if just to watch.
I'll
Watch me be amazing.
Yeah.
I'll say this: the as you're training for the evening, the door slides open and then closes as Baiwen comes into the room by himself.
Okay, I do a cool backflip to intimidate him, to thinking that he can't just attack me.
I want to thank you for your Aw, we got a guest, huh?
Oh, cute puppy.
That's the baby. She's kind of craving attention right now.
As babies do. So, it's often said that no good deed comes for free. What exactly did this cost me?
Well, I'll pick up a sword, one of the a practice sword similar to the kind that he uses. About a lesson.
Very well. And let's go ahead and say one strike. So he takes up position opposite you, and you will have the opportunity to roll versus him.
Okay. I'm thinking discipline fighting for my role.
And he will be going fighting might.
Okay. Feel confident.
I have 8 successes.
Damn.
Three of those were zeros, so tens. And then 2 of them were eights. So I have 8 successes total.
And then a 7 and an 8. So I only got 6.
We do have a we have 2 rerolls if you want.
Oh, I'll take one. I can at least match this dude. Okay, that's better looking. Okay. So now I have 8.
All right. And I declared it earlier. So you actually will win this challenge, but you both did roll the same. So thematically, I'm going to say that you have just, in a single blow, you two met in a moment of just pure and the highest level of martial strike, as if everything in your training was taken up in one moment. Same for him. He did not hold back on you at all. And it's as if neither one of you take a single moment or point of damage. No ground is given. In fact, at the very end of this strike, he uh, kind of massages his arm. Uh, he's like he looks at you. You're not like most martial trainers, are you?
I
No, my
work a
name
little
is Chet
harder.
Kawasaki.
I work a little harder than most.
There's a certain discipline in you that I cannot place. I hope that we can fight again someday. And he takes a deep bow.
I'll bow equally as deep and say it would be my honor.
And the scene closes out on this. The next morning, without fanfare that was there the previous day, the entourage and the ambassador from the Land of Five Blades departs. There is still the missive that you received earlier, uh, specifically addressed more to Guy, and that was from from Hotaru no Koji. The capital city had sent a missive that there was a rumor of a possible spy moving out of the city. Let me find it really quick. Moving out of Kahike sorry, Kaheki, other way around with those vowels. Uh, that they were seen leaving and entering into the Southern Kingdom. It's known that Guy has experience in that area and a reputation with the members of the city who are part of the Land of Seed and Blossom. And it's been requested that he form a team to go and investigate. So that said, I guess the team's back together again.
I can't believe they're sending us out already. We've only been here a week.
Here we go again.
So that said, let's go ahead and we're going to do the travel mechanic of
Road trip.
Ninja Crusade, which is one of my more favorite mechanics in this game. We've only done it a couple times though, haven't we?
Like
It
two
feels
or
like more
three.
than that.
More than that?
I mean, we haven't done it like every session, but we've done it for 20 episodes. We've probably done it at least 3 times.
Sparse enough for me to miss it.
If I am remembering correctly, I think we've only done it once per season.
That's
That
possible.
could be.
I know we did it in like the first or second episode, and then we did it again at some point in season 2.
All right. So let's go ahead and start the journey. And the first leg is always the simplest. And we're going to say that we're starting off with a difficulty 1, starting in the village. You obviously are starting at the base location where you are at and traveling eastward. Difficulty is 1, but who wants to take the first roll? There are going to be 4 rolls, obviously 1 roll per team member, as you make your way to the final destination.
I was going to suggest either something where we're loading the wagon or more because that always feels kind of like a bum deal for a roll, but maybe Guy can send some stuff ahead of us to perhaps prepare our way. Does that make sense? The route that we're traveling, maybe he's got some people we can avoid some being stopped or searched or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or is that more than one success type of task?
That's really up to y'all. So like a travel mechanic always comes down to one person. And for the audience, if this is your first time going through a travel with us, Ninja Crusade breaks up travel in this game into a series of montage, is the best way to put it, where each player presents something that they do. And what may be weeks of travel is basically done in a matter of 4 tests. But so anyone here who wants to take that first one?
I could probably do that. So I see that Kyo really wants to do this in a way that reduces any amount of harassment. And so can I make a travel knowledge check in order to route out a path for us and or make these preparations
Absolutely.
to minimize?
So difficulty is 1, and the idea, honestly, the idea is to generate boosts with your first test. That's why it's a simple difficulty, and it's going to help you on your later tests.
Well, I got 2 successes, so not a boost, but at least passed it.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll say that you get a map together and draw things up, figure out where good places are, where there's supplies, a few farms that you know of that maybe you even passed through on your way when you traveled this way before.
Sweet.
All right, so the second step in a journey is the step of the river, which is about pace and distance. This is about traveling as rapidly as you can, especially when you have a goal of finding someone who may be a spy. So, who would like to take this test, and how would you like to go about it?
I'll probably take it. Unless, did you want it, Ranto? I saw you leaning
Uh,
forward.
no, go ahead.
I was
I
gonna
have like a
say,
half idea.
if I can use some of my mercantile ways also. Again, I do have that persuade to perhaps get into a restricted area, or persuade uh, to negotiate a way into a place that might save us some time. Uh, Something like that. I have two triggers also that would work with this.
Okay.
So
Uh, so the test is going to be level two, so it is going to be a standard difficulty, and usually it defaults for this test to fortitude and travel because you're trying to move quickly and you're
okay.
trying to conserve the energy. But in this case, you're saying that you wanted to do
Can I do
persuade.
travel and persuade?
Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. And then if we happen to get lost, we get a karma. So, sorry guys, that is one of my triggers. Let's see here. So that's 3 for travel, 3 for persuade, and 3 bonus die. Oh yay! I got 4 tens and a 7 and an 8, so that's 10 successes. So at least I think it's 2 booths only, but
Yeah, it's 2 boosts, but still, that do you want to pass those off to people down the chain, or do you want to do anything else?
I think passing them off will be the safest as it gets higher, just to be sure. I'm good with passing those off. I don't know of anything else that I would want to do with them, except for could I use one to get some information?
Absolutely, information is one of the uses for it.
So as we're going through these places and I'm talking to people, I would like any. I'm going to ask somewhat surreptitiously to people that I at least am fairly trusting of, or at least don't think it could get traced back to me or my family or Katsucho. But I'm going to ask, I guess, ninjas, people that I might be able to tell are ninja, if they've seen a member of the Hidden Voices in the towns that we're going through. But I'm going to do that very discreetly. I want to use my boost to do it very discreetly.
They reveal that they think that they saw someone, and especially when you ask a ninja, they reveal that they believe that this person was traveling up the nearby river and northward. There's a look of recognition in their face when they provide this information to you because there's a knowing in that, especially as you're traveling eastward, that river, and if you're traveling northward, will take you back to Danketsu.
I share this info with my friends.
That said, our final test, or no, we've done 2 tests so far, 3. Yeah, so we've got 2 more tests coming up. We've done our village, we've done our river. Now we're on to the mountain, which is the obstacles and environmental hazards. So at this point, traveling upriver. So between it would be Chet and Ronto. Who wants to take the lead on this test?
You have an idea?
I think so. I think between me and Camu, we could do a good job of scouting up ahead and finding obstructions, and removing said obstructions.
All right. I'm also going to say that there is a risk in doing this, and that is, I'm going to say, hmm, if you do not pass this test, it's going to be a level 3 test. So I'm looking for 3 successes. You are looking at slowed, and that means that you're look the stress that it's going to put on you, and all of you, it risks that you're going to be fatigued and worn out by the time you arrive at your destination, and you will all have a penalty to initiative equal to the penalty presented. So you would all be at a -3 for initiative checks. I know, big penalty, but y'all are also level 3 ninjas now. So
Mm-hmm.
I think we got it.
We got this.
Let's see. So I think for my roll, it's still 2 stats, correct?
yes.
Okay. I was thinking might to remove obstructions or help pull the cart along, and survival just to understand lay of the land and the path and how to move things about. Let's see. And if Camu is assisting me, I believe I get a +1 to act with him. I don't know if I can do that on travel montage. I'll leave that to you.
I would say yes, but you'd have to substitute one of his traits for yours.
It would be
That would be the assist.
okay. It would be about the same. So I will.
We
I
do
will.
have 4 karma still, so.
Oh, y'all mind if I take a karma?
Go for it.
I do not.
Thank you. Okay, so that'll bring me to 10 dice. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 successes. 5 successes.
All right. With 5 successes, that's going to. I set the difficulty at 3, so it's not a boost, but you do succeed. You are not slowed at all. This puts you in the final position with Chet. You're now leading the group in on that final leg of the journey.
And remember,
Mhm.
I passed on 1 boost to later rolls, so.
So this is the temple, and this is arrival and reception. So this defaults usually to empathy and intuition, and that is, I'm gonna put it this way: you arrive in what is left of Danketsu.
Okay.
Ever since the end of the war, this village has largely been abandoned. Uh, the war efforts have moved further north. The border between the two kingdoms is where almost all skirmishes have concentrated, and it is everyone avoids this area to some extent, just because it was such a ferocious battle. The Empire lost so many forces here. The general was captured in this location or near here along the river. The overall feeling is both elation, but at the same time, many people were lost here. And many homes that belonged to people, belonged to even you, were destroyed in fire. So it's a bit of a ghost town now. And you're seeking out a member of we've been told. What you've been told is a silent voice.
Hidden voice.
or hidden voice. Yes.
Okay. Uh,
So how would you like
so
to go about finding them? I mean, that's really what this test comes down to is uh, how you're finding them or the way in which you want to meet them.
I would like to do perception and knowledge to see if I can suss out where a good like if I were to be hiding out in the ruins of Danketsu, where would I go?
Okay. And I'm going to say that the risk that you're taking in this test, I'm going to set the difficulty at 2.
Okay.
The risk that you're taking in this test is scarred. And it is a mental condition. That the events that took place here has left a deep scar on all of you. And what would happen if you do not fail this test is that your opponent would actually get bonuses to intimidate.
Okay. I'll do my thing. All right. So I got a 10, so that's 2 off the bat, and then that's 7, so that's 3. So I got 3 successes, and then Kyo threw one up for later, but can we pocket that for even later? Or do we
I'll
need to use it in the travel?
We can actually just go ahead and turn that around and turn it into karma so it can be used for an extra dice later.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
So, how are you going about it? What were the skills you were using?
So I used perception and knowledge to try to either find tracks to where they were hiding, and then knowledge because I grew up here, so I would know where the best hiding spots would be. Uh, so I'm either looking for signs of them while also checking places that I would think to hide.
They, you actually find them fairly easily. Do you announce your approach?
No.
Okay. You will find them uh, near the center of town, not too far from the various locations where the leaders of of the Ninja Crusade, of the Lotus Coalition, you this individual is there. When you find them, what you see is, you believe, the figure of a woman, a very feminine figure, but covered in a shroud. They are wearing dusky, kind of dusky colored clothing that covers both their top, their head, everything. All you can see are very pale hands as they are moving through the building and looking through papers, picking up things, looking for things. And
Okay.
it's as if they're searching for something.
So pale hands as if they've not seen much sunlight.
Yes.
Hmm.
What time of day is
Lady.
it?
Potentially a lady.
Uh, yes. Midday. Actually, and technically, you did score fairly well on the test, and I mean, nobody had any trouble. What time of day would you like to arrive? What time of day would you have searched?
We're ninja, the night.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's amend that scene and say it is dark, but there are candles then coming from that building, and they've obviously been in there for a while searching.
Okay. I'll like motion for everybody. So like hand sign, be quiet though. And then I'll whisper to anybody, do you think that could be the It's not silent voice, but I wanted to say that because that's what I
Hidden
remember.
voice.
What is it?
Hidden
Hidden.
voice.
Do you think that's a hidden voice, or do you think it could possibly be uh Ayame?
She has appeared like this before.
'Cause she had like bandaged up hands, right?
This
That's a
Yeah.
that's a quality that Ayame used to have.
usually yes.
So if, pale hands, probably not much sun because they're covered in bandages all the time. World's
If it
greatest detective.
if it is Ayame, does she already know that we're here? And is she just gonna appear behind us? And I'm like looking over my shoulder.
Good question. So, what are y'all going to do? As of this moment, they are too involved in what they're attempting to do to pay attention.
I say
I'll-
we circle
okay.
the house.
Yeah, let's ambush them.
At
Climb on top
least
of the
guard
roof.
the exits. Do we know what house this is? Did you say that?
It's one of the official government buildings.
More
More than
like
likely, I'll even go further and say that you know that this was a building that was commonly used by members of the Hidden Strands.
Okay. I think we should at least cover the exits. Can I roll a knowledge roll to see if I'm aware of perhaps just because I've done some my parents did some smuggling and things. Could I possibly know if there were maybe like a cellar or some other type of exit from that house? A hidden one, perhaps?
Yeah. I would even go as far as letting you spend 2 karma to add one automatically.
Okay, yeah. But I just want us to be able to guard it. Are you guys good with spending 2 karma?
Yes.
Sweet. That
Sure.
leaves us with 2.
The figure is reading things, but seems to be having trouble.
Hmm. Who do we know who can't read?
How how large is this figure?
Small. Uh, Not as small as Ronto, but
Young?
smaller. Yes, at least in appearance.
Remember the girl? Remember the little girl that was taken by the.
Oh,
Could it be her?
maybe.
The one that was with the sister of Ayame?
I don't know. Do you think we should violently bust in and loudly ask all of our questions at once?
Why don't we
In
just
true anime fashion, yes. No. No.
why don't we just ask? Sometimes just a
Well,
straightforward approach is the best approach.
uh, well, if we're outside and we're speaking quietly, I would suggest sending in
Yes.
Ronto.
Okay.
Yes.
Is this to hit her or to talk to her?
To talk to her. But
Oh.
I
You
know
lost
that's
your
not your
marbles.
favorite thing. But you are the least assuming of this group. So, and you're of similar builds. If Chet goes in, it could just freak her out. But I would also
If Guy
recommend
goes
leaving
in, it
Kamu
could
out.
just freak him out. No,
That's-
no offense.
Just see
None
if you can
taken
find out
whatsoever.
who it is.
I mean, I can do that. I'll leave Camu outside because in the dark he does not look like a giant sweet puppy. I'm sure.
No, yeah, yeah.
Um,
If Chet
yeah.
might scare her, Kamu will lead her in her mind. So,
He wouldn't do that. Yeah, I think if I can get the clear, I'll just straight up approach the entrance and just knock on the door frame.
Ronto, go ahead and give me a survival
Oh shit. Excuse
intuition
me.
check really quick. Difficulty's 1.
I got one.
That's all we
Something's
needed.
not right. Uh, you're more in tune with with nature because your relationship with Kamu, and it is so simple that even before you decide to start stepping towards the building, you know something is not right here. You're
No.
not certain you can put a finger on it either, but it's like something is unnatural here
Am I able to determine if it's unnatural with the place or with the person?
with the environment.
Okay.
So I take it she
Um,
doesn't knock then.
if I get that heads up before the knock, then ooh, I kind of still want to knock.
Okay.
um, yeah, because things being unattuned or unnatural aren't always instantly bad. They're probably bad right now, but I will just have myself at the ready and I'll just announce myself and pretend I'm not aware.
If we were sharing a table, I would be able to do this, but I'm going to, ex- explain to my players since we're having to use microphones, we're not all at the same place. Imagine, if you will, that their voice carries as a whisper, just on the edge of being audible. You can make out what they say, but it is that tone. And basically, this individual just stands up and looks in your direction, the shroud covering most of them now. You see their mouth and their nose and their face. Their lips and I mean their skin itself is pale. Their lips are almost bluish in color. And they say, you know, I was wondering when you would finally let yourself be known.
Didn't want to freak you out. You need help finding something?
Yes, I do. Do you wish me ill will?
Hmm, I don't think so.
And I'm going to say that she, she's going to roll a test. If you are lying, you'll need to roll against her.
I'm not lying. My strategy is do no harm unless harm starts being needed.
I believe that's the revised Hippocratic Oath.
So 3 successes, so she sees that you have no ill intent. And she finally, on the wind, she whispers, "My lovelies, I'm safe." And
Who,
there are pieces of nature that are out of place now that move away.
who are
You,
the lovelies?
there was a deer on a hill that was eating, grazing in the grass, it looked like. But it stops, and when she says this, it's like it stops, the head raises up, and it looks over towards her. You see that on that deer, there is an eye missing from one of the sockets. That part of the skin on its jaw has been ripped away, and the teeth are exposed. And it looks her way and then walks off out into the forest. On top of a building nearby, there is a squirrel whose tail is taken up with rigor mortis. The tail doesn't even twitch, and it hops away as well.
Do you want to meet my lovely?
And this person just walks out towards you. I mean, no fear whatsoever. You are not alone, are you?
Nah. They're chill though.
I am looking for records of where the dead were buried here.
I mean, we can probably help with that. What brings you all the way here for those?
Yeah, and it's obvious the presence around this individual is very unsettling. They move with a almost ethereal grace. You have seen spirits and ghosts before. This is not that, but it almost feels like that. I and she looks at if any of you are not hiding, she looks over at you and nods. I am investigating a murder.
Ooh, okay. That was a little bit more intriguing than I thought it was gonna be. Um, And I just
Ki-
kind of look back to whoever might be hiding and go, she says she's investigating a murder.
I when it said that she's investigating a murder, there's an audible because Kyo always heard horror stories that they ate babies. So I was like dead babies, dead people, dead kids. So it's like the hidden voices were a scary story, a cautionary tale, kept us kids from running off too far.
You
So
hear. Oh, yeah, sorry.
I was just say hearing that she's investigating a murder is a lot better than I want your dead so I can feast on them. My grandmother's here, y'all.
You hear Bush say, "Who's murder?"
He's chill.
Sometimes.
An elder of the clans of my land was killed here some time ago. We have reason to believe that this was a murder. It was not until this moment that there was an opportunity for me to be dispatched to investigate.
I'll pop out of the bush. And I'll ask, how long ago did this happen?
5 years.
Okay, Chet will let out a sigh and just be like, "Okay, I didn't do it." I've killed one guy, so like it could have been that guy.
Stuff came out of my nose when you said that. Bad day to have a cold.
Are you able to assist me?
I don't see why not. And she's kind of like looking to everybody else for approval because she's not normally the decision maker.
Are you from here?
Yes.
Yeah.
My question, before we agree to help you, why are you seeking records of where our dead are buried? How will they help you with this investigation?
I am. A better way of saying what I am is a phantom voice. I speak for the dead. Justice must be found. A spirit came to us in our lands and told us that they had fallen here, a hidden blade. But I was not able to get all the information before they drifted off.
A hidden blade or a hidden voice?
A hidden blade to their back.
Oh, I see.
If I can find the body here, I'll be able to investigate and know who the murderer was.
Okay, GM, just culturally.
Yes.
For this area, and I mean, do we not have like a graveyard?
I will say that yes, there is a graveyard. More than likely, it was out towards the shrine, near the hill where the kids used to go hang out.
Okay. Because I'm confused as to why she's looking for records of the buried dead in this house when there's very likely a graveyard not far away and may even be visible if it's kind of up on a hill.
More than likely, it's in ruins. Everything's been flattened here or
Okay.
destroyed.
Okay.
You moved the gravestones, but you didn't move the bodies.
Ah,
Good.
classic line.
Is that why the furniture keeps moving around?
Uh,
That's why there was a dead deer and a dead squirrel running around talking to this lady.
if I oh, if you're still going, keep going.
Nope, go ahead.
Okay. If I have to do a roll for this, I will. But chat's gonna say before I agree to help you, whose side are you on?
Side.
There's war is still happening, right? I'm not making that up.
More than you know.
Okay. Well, I was asking you. That
Yeah,
was out
war
of
is
character.
still happening. Yeah, I was out of character.
Oh, okay.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. There's still war happening. Whose side are you on?
Do you honestly think that any member, any resident of the land of Seed and Blossom could be on the side of the Emperor?
Stranger things have happened.
Then you need to know more of what's happening in my land. Assist me in helping the past, and I will provide you the information that you probably need if you are not aware already.
Very well. Graveyard's this way.
And we'll narrate this a little bit. But you take them out to the graveyard. It's in a valley. Side of this one area, you wouldn't know. There are a few stones left. The graveyard wasn't really well marked or well kept. There were so many dead. And quite honestly, what good is a hidden village when things are easy to find? But you motion to it, and you're like, all the dead are buried in this vicinity. And you see toppled stones, more likely just a few rocks piled on top of each other, maybe trinkets that had been left at one time. And she kneels in front of you, and it's as if you sense that she is molding ki. And out of her flows this, imagine almost a mist that looks like cloth, and it drapes over the graveyard. And in the center of these graves, the dirt begins to shake a little bit. And out of the ground comes just bones rising up to the surface.
Spooky.
She whispers and says, "Oh, there you are. Come." And you watch as if that shroud falls on the bones, covering them. And where there was once mist and was once very see through, imagine that as the mist falls and lands on this body, the body is now whole and clothed. And stands up and approaches it. Not the body. She stands up and approaches the corpse that is now on the ground. Looking at it, you know that this person is dead. It is as if the flesh has become whole, but it is obvious that they are not moving, they are not breathing. And she begins to inspect the body. What are you going to do?
Try
I'm going
not
to
to run
chalk this
away.
up to at least the second weirdest thing I've seen in my life. Maybe third.
Is there any chance we would recognize who this person was, or are they just beyond
Well, yeah,
recognition at this
or the
point?
name. If there's a gravestone toppled over, can we see the name?
I'm gonna say, give me a test, and I'm gonna say because the amount of time that has passed since this person died, they did live in your village. I'm gonna set the difficulty at a 4. So, tell me what you'd like to roll to try and remember. Knowledge could be a good base.
Could this be random common knowledge?
Yeah.
Okay, then I would like to use knowledge intuition.
Would anybody else like to try and roll?
Um,
I'll give it a shot.
I'll give it a shot as well. Um, could perception come into play with this knowledge perception?
Yes.
Okay,
Guy is
give
too
me a
terrified to think
chance.
straight.
Could I use empathy if to see if I had ever spoken with and connected with this person while they were living?
Sure.
So knowledge, empathy,
Dang, I should have asked about empathy before I rolled.
and then can I on the side comfort Guy to get +1 empathy versus against fear?
Okay. Yeah, let's
All
go
right.
for it. So, going around the table, let's go ahead and get everybody's rolls. Chet, what did you roll?
I got 4.
All right, so
Two
you succeeded.
tens.
Rue, you got 2. Ronto got 0. Guy, how do you do?
Oh, was I rolling? Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I said that
sorry,
I
that's
was
right. You were
cowering
too
in fear.
terrified. That's right. Sorry, Chet. You recognize this individual. Uh, they used to do very non. Used to be a member of the city. You would see them occasionally. They worked in the kitchen at Flash in a Pan. Or sorry, it was Clash in the Pan.
Clash in the Pan.
They had you don't remember why. Your parents didn't really tell you the story, but you remember that they had been found dead in the woods not far from town. And it was a unsolved, murder. Nobody knew who did it.
Hash browns were never the same.
They were
Chet of all
always
people
worse
would
after
succeed
that.
on this.
Do I remember a name?
Yeah, just 1 second. And we're gonna say Yi Jun.
Y-I?
Y-E, yes.
Y-E. Okay. And spell the last name for me?
G-U-N. Oh, sorry, J-U-N.
Okay. Murdered Guy. Okay. It's written
Guy,
down.
you've been murdered.
Oh no! Woe is me! Goodbye, everybody.
So I guess with that, kind of to himself out loud, Ket would just go, "E?
You knew him.
Yeah, he was the best chef in town."
She rolls the blade over onto the side. And sees the stab wound. You see the stab wound as well. And looks at it and says, "Do you recognize this?"
Do I recognize it?
It is made. The stab wound has been made by 2 blades side by side. as if it was a single instrument that pierced in the back.
Like fangs.
Possibly.
Did we see a knife like that?
You've seen one knife like that carried by Onimaru.
I'll put my sunglasses a little more over my eyes to hide my emotions and just say, "That son of a bitch."
All right. Who do you think it was?
Oh, we know
I
who
only
it
knew
was.
one. I only knew one person who wielded a weapon with such a blade. Onimaru.
Run, dun,
Traitor.
dun!
I
Interesting.
hate him. I hate him.
Yeah, he kind of sucks. Like, and every time we
He
hear about him,
super
he sucks
sucks.
more.
And she she nods and says, "You may have just given me the hint I need." And you sense again that she is spending ki. And she blows on the face of this individual with her mouth. You know, this like a very soft blow.
Flirty.
And you see God have mercy. So you see color come back into the flesh around the face, as if it flushes with blood for a moment. And she says, "Were you killed by Onimaru?" And the mouth opens and words spill out, and it says, "No." And she nods, stands up, and says, "We will need to find more information, unfortunately. But now we have at least a piece of the puzzle."
Why do you think he might have been killed? And I look at Chet. Do you think he'd have sent Koga to do this? Would Koga have done it?
I don't think Koga had the stomach. One of the other fangs, maybe.
So, I thank you for your help. I will need to continue my investigations. And I thank you for your help, sir. And she whispers a few words, and again you see and you feel that expenditure of ki. But this time it is a heat radiating. And you watch the color of the skin fade. You watch as the body essentially almost instantaneously turns to ash and is blown by the wind.
Do you need passage to your next destination? We have a wagon if you would like to travel with us.
I will have to go back to Kehike to see if I may get permission to go and find this individual. What did you call them? Onimaru?
Hmm.
Yes.
We may be able to provide intelligence on that. It's kind of a deception.
I
I
will
don't
need to
know if we
speak.
can or not.
I will need to speak with this person to find out what they know.
Good luck.
Why do you
Yeah,
say
I
that?
don't. Onimaru is probably not in the habit of just confessing.
or telling anyone who might have. If that blade is, I mean, we associate that blade with him. If he's used that blade with, or let someone else use that blade, or perhaps made that blade a bit of a calling card of Onimaru's, was that Onimaru's fangs? Onimaru's serpents?
His
It's
fangs.
His fangs. Then he's not going to give up anyone. And this was for a purpose. At least I hope
Then-
it was. If he used to just go around killing people because it was convenient, that makes him worse than I thought he was.
I thank you for this information. I will have to present that to my elders. But you have done me a great service today.
Yes, and
Perhaps
before we part, I believe introductions are in order.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
My name is Chetsuo Kawasaki. And who might you be? And I extend a hand to shake.
she holds out her hand and just takes your hand ever so gently. I am Seo Jun.
Shio?
Seo. SEO.
Okay.
Jin as the same name as the deceased?
Search engine optimization.
It is, that is not a family name. That is my name.
Oh,
I am of the Tamurai.
Who are the Tamurai?
My family.
so that's like her surname.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Oh, Seojun, we share a common enemy.
Seems
If
that
you
way.
need if you need help in this endeavor, you have my aid.
And my wagon.
And me and my dog.
My axe, says the dwarf in the corner. Just joking, of course. But no, she nods and she's like, I'm very thankful for this, but I have promised information in exchange. Obviously, you do not know of what all has transpired in the land of Seed and Blossom. There's much to discuss. Let us go someplace. Is there someplace you recommend?
Well, normally Chet would have recommended Clash in the Pan, but
Yeah. Maybe one of the tables is still usable.
if there's any structure left in the farming areas, Ronto's house may still be there. I mean, I think any indoor building at this point would be a pretty okay idea.
Yeah, I mean, we could go back to the Hidden Strands house if we needed to.
All right. Well, let's say that your characters adjourn there, and she lays out a tale for you. And essentially, what is presented is that with the fall of the empire and the fact, or in this area, the fact that the empire has now been cut off, everything south of Yanuma in the Triumph province is now territory of the empire, now overseen by Sakamoto. So all the forces that once held the land of Seed and Blossom, which the empire has held for 700 years. For 700 years, they captured the land and subjugated the people. Since they've been cut off, there is a revolt and rebellion in the land. So all of the Empire's forces are now pushed to the edge of the border. So she explains that a lot of the powers that be have declared themselves the new law along that border, turning the Jishin fort into their capital. She also reveals that it is the time of year when the lands are free for travel in the southern area, and that she will have to return soon because soon Moro Higasha will flood again. And I'm probably saying that word wrong. Let me double check that. It's sorry, Higosha. So it's only available to travel through there for a few weeks. The northern border, she says, do not seek to cross. Do not even approach. That area is held by the highest of our order, or the highest members of our society. And anyone who is not from the lands of Seed and Blossom will be killed. During all this discussion, Guy, I'm going to say
Mhm.
that you're, uh, you feel a great discomfort around her.
Oh yeah, no, I have. I most definitely have.
Hence the running away.
Well, more like cowering behind the rest of you. But yes.
You feel a burning, uh, like almost in, you know, on your head. Like it is a physical sensation that makes you uncomfortable around her.
You don't have like your
Me.
Living Chronicle stuff just showing up right now, do you?
Hmm. So, since I am distracted, I will be scratching my head thinking I have like lice or something. Like, you guys feel that? I feel this. I don't like it. It's creepy.
I look at him.
You're not certain what exactly is going on, but yeah, Guy seems more than just creeped out. But I'm going to say this. She informs you that she will be returning tomorrow. And says that if you decide to make your way to the land of Seed and Blossom at any point, that she will speak for you. And with that, we're going to go ahead and pause our tale for the night. Uh, I think that's a good point for us to go ahead and call it. That said, you know me and the way that I run things. We're gonna say a really quick chat. If there's somebody in particular that you want to gift a XP to, I always let chat choose one person in our cast. Uh, but basis of the game, everybody gets one XP, guaranteed, given right off the bat. For additionally, roleplay and the scenes going on, you get another XP. Uh, and we've got the first question, which is going to be, what do you feel your character learned tonight, or learned in this game session? What is some truth that you think that you uncovered, either about yourself or about the world? Going around really quick. So for Chet.
So I would think before sparring with Baiwan or Baiwen, Chet probably never really considered himself a master. And now I think he's starting to see himself as more advanced than he initially thought.
All right. And for Ronto?
Almost forgot my button. I think Ronto learned. She usually sees her kind of herself as not super good with talking, and her bluntness tends to get in the way. But even though the situation seemed a little weird, she just kind of she did okay, and I think she could trust herself to be a little more vocal with people after tonight.
All right. What about for Guy?
Sojin is making Guy want to reconsider his life choices, and he's considering going into screenplay writing.
Dance choreography.
Exactly. Screw
And
all this supernatural nonsense. I'm gonna go start our first boy band.
for Kyo.
I learned that the hidden voices don't eat the dead, or at least they didn't. The one that I met didn't. I was lied to my entire life.
She didn't eat the dead in front of us.
I mean, it might just been politeness, but I'll take it.
All right, so everybody gets an XP for that. From my players, choose one person who you think exemplified tonight, or that you found entertaining, or did something really cool. Everybody nominate one person for an XP. So, going back to Chet, who would you like to nominate?
I think I want to give mine to, or I want to cast my vote for Guy, or going above and beyond with the choreography and, role playing, pulling an all nighter.
All right, Ferranto, you're muted. Sorry.
Sorry. I was also kind of thinking Guy for I don't think we would have had as big an impact without the choreography.
All right, and for Guy, who are you gonna pick?
I was gonna pick Chet just because the whole training montage was his idea in the first place.
All right, and then for Kyo.
I was gonna give it to Ronto for going in and talking and not shying away from that, as she very well could have, as not one of the more prevalent talkers of the group.
Awesome. Well, so Guy, you're gonna get it from the table. Did chat choose someone?
The chat is tied for Chet and Guy.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and then GM caveat. We're gonna go ahead and give it to Chet on that one. So everybody, you're gonna get 3 XP for the night, and then Chet and Guy are gonna get 4 XP. And I think this is a good point for us to call it. When next we all meet, we're gonna go ahead and
2
say,
weeks.
yeah, in 2 weeks. We're gonna say that the group travels to Hotari no Koji to present Sakamoto Eiko with the information of what has transpired. And I think that's where we're going to call it. Thank you so much, everyone. In 2 days, on Saturday, I will be running BattleTech. We're going to be using the A Time of War game manual for it, but we are actually going to be using the setting material from the original release of the Solaris 7 box set for BattleTech back when it was made by FASA. I have a great table that are going to be joining me for this, and if so, BattleTech: A Time of War actually takes place mainly outside of mech combat. It's the politics and the reality of the worlds. Mech combat still can happen, but it's all about the lives that when we were war gamers, when I was around and we used to play BattleTech, we were always like, what are our characters doing when they're not fighting? What's this? What's happening in the universe? When are when it's not the battle line? What's happening? And so originally it was Mech Warrior gave you the opportunity to play those characters and to actually see what was happening and to role play it out. BattleTech: A Time of War continued that trend on. So I really hope that you'll be here this Saturday to come watch it. And then our next week, all our games start back up. Sunday is going to be Illuminated Page, Horror on the Orient Express. Monday is Star Trek Adventures with the Voyages of. And Tuesday will be Seventh Seas by Leaps and Bounties. Hope to see you all there. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. We are going to raid Good Game Grizz. He's an old friend of Steven's, Justine's, and mine's from the old game store that we used to work at. I don't think you ever met him, Tuan, but he's playing some
Probably not.
Civilization 6. So stay tuned if you'd like to pop in and say hi to him. And you all have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Night.
Good night, everyone.